Hello, this is Jules Simpson here from Thrive People with another episode of Love What You Do. I'm very lucky to be joined here by Chris today, who's going to tell us about what he does for work and why he loves it. So let's get into it. Chris, what do you do and why do you love it?
What do I do? So, day job is I work for the Royal New Zealand Air Force, and I guess my role is what's known as the Deputy Base Adjutant. So, essentially, I help with the day-to-day running of the base on behalf of the senior person, but I also wear a couple of other different hats under that. Around planning. So basically anybody that comes to the base, whether it be VIPs, international guests, even domestic squadrons and things, I'll plan for them coming to base and do a lot of hosting and those types of things. And then on top of that, I do a lot of personnel work as well. So people have their own management structures on the base, but basically I will look at the system as a whole and just try and help out where I can in that space. So I guess in a nutshell, in a work context, that's what I do.
I love the diversity and the variety that you've got going on there. As you say, lots of different hats.
That's definitely a big drive for me. And I think, one of your questions is around that, but for sure.
So the next question is, tell us, how did you end up down this path? Was it on purpose or a happy accident?
Amazing question, I guess. I would say it wasn't planned. Probably your cliche story. Went to school. I can't say I was super excited about school, like the curriculum and stuff. I did okay. Could have done better. Totally my fault. Didn't apply myself. Was more interested in the social aspect and sports. So left school, wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. University wasn't a huge drive. So I was kind of, looking for what else is out there. So a couple of part-time jobs just to earn some money to fund the lifestyle, as you do when you're young. And then, got introduced to a person, a family friend that was in the Air Force, had worked their way up quite high. And they were like, had you ever considered the military? And at that stage, I hadn't really, but sort of took a bit of a look into it and met with the recruiters and, went to a couple of road shows and they took me for a visit to the base. And the rest is history, really. They asked me, what do you enjoy doing? I was like, well, I like being around people. I like sport. I like a challenge. And they were like, hey, you should give this job a go, called a physical training instructor. And the rest is kind of history. So I'd love to say it was really strategic and well planned, but it wasn't. It was just at the time I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And here we are.
Well, it sounded like you landed in the right place for someone to meet you where you were at and then design a job around your interests. In terms of your role, what would you say might surprise most people?
So I can talk to previous roles. Like one of the cool things about the military is you do a bunch of different things, right? And, I've already spoke about the variety piece. But in a former life, I did what's called SEER, so survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. So you may have seen Bear Grylls and stuff on TV. We'll use that as the example, but more in a military context. But some things that might surprise people is one time we were in Arizona doing some stuff and we caught and ate a rattlesnake because, we hadn't had food for a little while. And what you can do with a rattlesnake is you can actually portion it up and put it on a survival blanket. Do you know the space blankets, the silver ones? You can put that over a cactus and put the portions on there and leave it in the sun for a handful of hours, 40 degrees Celsius, and you can come back and eat it. So it's a mixture of what I would say like fish and chicken, and it's quite fibrous. So that might be a surprise. And then I guess if you're ever in the jungle in Townsville in North Queensland and you're trying to get water from the river, don't go to the same place twice because the crocodiles are very smart. They'll observe you and they'll figure out your daily routines and habits, and then they'll sit and wait for you in the river. So if you are ever in a situation where you need to collect water for a prolonged period of time, go to different places, mix up your routine. And the last one would be, we were in Antarctica doing some work down there. I was taking some people for a course in Antarctica for about a week. And a lot of the time we were just working in what I'm wearing now, so just a T-shirt. But as soon as any wind comes up, you've got to put on like 5 layers. So it's actually the wind that kills you in Antarctica. So, people might find that surprising. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And back to the rattlesnake barbecue. It's so fascinating because of the natural heat in the environment. So that's amazing.
I was with an American guy. So Kiwis, we don't have to deal with that sort of stuff day to day. So it freaked me out a little bit, but he was all good with it. So he showed me what needed to be done, and we went ahead and did it, right?
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. In terms of your working environment, what is it about your working environment that helps you to thrive in the work that you do?
Yeah, for sure. I get bored very quickly, so I know that about myself. So I like variety and I like challenge and change. So the really cool thing about the Air Force, particularly in my own journey, is I've never been in the same job for longer than kind of 3 years. And that's different locations, different bases, but literally different roles within the organization. So that's a really cool thing about the military, the Air Force in particular, is you can chop and change, which gives you different challenges. You pick up different skill sets. And then within that, you don't really know, like 2 days don't really look the same for me. So for one day I might be sitting having an interview with someone real cool, or
Okay.
I
Yeah.
might be hosting like a general from overseas, or I might be dealing with an emergency situation and everything in between. So
Yeah.
I
Wow.
really like that variety and that challenge. Those are some things that I really enjoy about the organisation for sure.
Now, in terms of advice, do you have any advice for anyone that would like to get into a similar line of work that you're in?
Yeah, for sure. I guess we're quite lucky with the Air Force is, we have recruiting systems set up specifically
Mm.
for that and for the New Zealand
Yep.
Defence Force. So I would just say, like, if you like a challenge, if you like variety, those types of things, would highly recommend it. I've been in the organisation for 20 years now, and just some of the experiences money can't buy and you can't get them in the civilian sector. So sure, there are drawbacks to being in the military. There's drawbacks with any profession or any endeavor. But I would say, yeah, if you like variety, you like a challenge, you really like to develop yourself, then just reach out to the recruiters and see what can be done, right? Because that's one other thing the organisation does very, very well is they're very dedicated and they put a lot of time and effort into developing their people. So yeah, it's just that's helpful in any arena of life, right? Not just the military. So, yeah, if you want something a little bit out of the box, yeah, reach out to recruiting, or I'm happy to give you my contact details at the end, and yeah, people can connect with me on LinkedIn, and happy to have a chat.
Yeah, that was going to be a great segue into if they are going to find you. How do they find you on LinkedIn, or the best avenue to connect with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn's probably the best. My name's Chris Turkington, so you can just search me on LinkedIn, or maybe we could provide a link as part of your page, or whatever works for you. But yeah, always happy to chat and connect with people for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Chris. It was awesome to hear about your journey and your experiences, and some good surprises there as well.
Well,
So, thank you.
thanks.